my pleasure to introduce Annette Gotland, who's going to talk to us about how to publish your own ebook. She's had a lifetime of experience with computers, and she's published 3 of her own books, and she was gracious enough to volunteer to share with us what she knows in case we might want to publish an ebook. So thanks, Annette.
Thanks, Marlon. Today I want to show you how easy it is to publish your own ebooks and give you an inside view of how Amazon book sales work. I found the whole process fascinating. First, I'm going to give you a little bit about my background, what I've done in publishing so far, why I think it's good to publish your own ebooks. And I'll give you some writing tips, both on how to get started in writing and how to format your books to make them easier to convert into Kindle. Then I'm going to take you through the process of actually converting a Word document into a Kindle book and how to publish it on Amazon. And finally, I'll give you some tips and techniques for helping to market your book and getting more people to find your book. My publishing started actually 22 years ago, is when I wanted to try first publishing. I sent ideas I had to several publishers, never got anything back, and just pretty much gave up on the idea. And then when I retired probably 9 years ago, I had time to play around with the computer more. I'd been writing software to sell on the internet, and I thought, oh, I've learned so much on how to do this, I could fill a whole book with it. And I was thinking, maybe I should. So I decided I was going to try and publish a book. I started looking at publishers again, and wasn't sure where to start, and I came across information on how to publish your own book. So that's what I did with my first book. This little program went to market. I did publish this one in paper. I used the print-on-demand company. I published it in 2010. Someone else suggested, well, can you make it available as an electronic book? So I looked into how to do that. So in 2012, I published it as both Kindle and Nook. And then in 2013, I still hadn't sold a single Nook copy, only Kindle. So I decided to remove it from Nook so I could take advantage of more of the options that are available on Kindle. And then 2013, I went back to my original idea of the book that I wanted to write. That was 22 years ago, and I updated it, and I wrote some introductory programming books for based on those ideas. And these 2 books, Do-It-Yourself Java Games and More Do-It-Yourself Java Games, I published those only as Kindle, and I've been real happy with how both those book sales have been going just in the past year. So first of all, why publish an ebook? It's very easy to self-publish. You don't need to find a publisher. You can publish it yourself. There are no fees involved. The only thing you're going to risk is the time that you invest in it. It's available on Amazon the next day, so there aren't any long delays that you have to wait for when you're working through a publisher. There are a lot of free marketing options that will help you get your book found by readers and by buyers. And right now there's a huge market for ebooks, and it's growing. So first of all, if you want to publish, you need to you become a publisher. And when you publish books on Amazon, you're going to be selling books. You're going to be working with Amazon as an independent contractor. You will need to pay income taxes on your book sales. And I don't know if you need to form a business or not. I did form a business, but you need a way to be able to report your income to the government. First question most people have is, can you make any money doing it? And what you make is all up to you. You're the one who sets the price of your book, not Amazon. You say how much you think you want to list for your list price. Amazon has 2 different royalty plans for their Kindle books. The first one is you can get 70% royalty back for whatever you list as your list price. But you must, to get on the 70% plan, you have to list your book between $2.99 and $9.99. Then you end up paying a delivery fee for your book, and then whatever is left after subtracting off that delivery fee, you get the 70% of that in royalty. The delivery fee is all based off the size of your book, and the size of your book is greatly impacted by the images that you put in it. For example, I've got, my 2 books are each about 500 pages long. One book has many more images than the other. The one with more images is 83 cents delivery fee, and the one with much fewer images is 23 cents delivery fee. So it's the images, not the number of pages that influence that. They also have a 35% plan in which they'll pay you 35% of whatever you list as your list price. You can list, there are no restrictions on what you price your book at, and there are no delivery fees. You just get a flat 35% if you opt to use that plan. The first thing is, if you're going to create a Kindle book, do your readers need to buy Kindles? No, they don't. There are free reading apps for any device, for any computer, for your 5 iPhones, for your phones, for your tablets, and you get the e-readers available from Amazon. I do want to point out, please download the e-readers from Amazon.com. I've heard of people that have downloaded them from other sites and get a lot of other garbage installed on their computers with it. Get it right from Amazon. It doesn't have any other extra stuff along with it, and you know that it's designed to work well with the Kindle books. Also, when you set up your e-reader on your device, you can only you have to link it to an Amazon account. You can only link it to one account, but you can have many devices linked to the same account. So you can use many different devices to read the same books, or you and your spouse can share the same Amazon account. You can share the same books across all your devices. So how do you get the free reading apps? You go to Amazon.com, click the Shop by Department, and then Kindle e-readers and books, and then click the free Kindle reading apps. That'll open up this other page. You just click the download from the Windows Store, and that'll download the e-reader onto your device, whichever device you happen to connect to Amazon with. Okay, there's a lot of reasons I could name why to read an e-book, but I'm just going to focus on the ones that will affect you as the author and publisher. One of the reasons to read an e-book is you can change the font size. I love the fact that I can make the font bigger, so now I can read my e-books while using my elliptical. I do not like to exercise. I find myself going down to exercise so I can read some more of my book to find out what's going to happen next. Also, there are many, many free books if you can read Kindle books. I've read almost nothing but free books since I started reading Kindle books several years ago. You can search for books by category, and the list changes hourly. And also you can get free samples of every Kindle book out there. So how do you get the free books? Start again on Amazon, go to Shop by Department, Kindle e-readers and e-books, Kindle books. When you click that, you'll get the list of all the Kindle books. Down in the right-hand corner is the best sellers, Kindle store. Click that link. And that brings up a list of all their top 100 paid books. I circled here to click the link that says top 100 free, because if you want to just look for the free books. So now I've got a list of hundreds of free books. They just list the top 100 here. But if you're, and it's a variety of books. Now you can go to the list on the left to search by a category. So if you want to read mysteries, click that link and it'll show you the top 100 free books in mysteries. So it makes it easy to look for free books in whatever category that you want. And also, every Kindle book available on Amazon, you can download a free sample. Here I showed my book, Do It Yourself Java Games, and there's a link to send a sample now. So you can sample any book, try out the first 10% of it before you decide if you want to pay for the book. Now, if that's not enough free books, Amazon has some paid subscriptions that you can sign up for. If you sign up for Kindle Prime, you get free shipping, and you can watch movies, and you can borrow one free book at a time. If you sign up for Kindle Unlimited, it's just for books. You can borrow 10 free books at a time. Both these programs, you have to pay a monthly fee to participate in them, and you only borrow the books. You don't own them. When you end the program or you finish a book and you want to borrow a different book, you won't have access to the borrowed book anymore. How do you know which ones are free? Not all books are available for free under these programs. Here I'm showing a listing of 2 books. My book, Do It Yourself Java Games. On the right-hand side, it says borrow for free. That means it's available for Amazon Prime members, and then there's also I circled where the Kindle Unlimited is free there. So my book is available for both of those programs. The book listed above mine is not. So not every book is available for those subscriptions. And I'll show you a little later how you get your book into these programs. Amazon also tried to make books, working with Kindle books similar to working with a paper copy. You can loan your Kindle books to one friend one time for up to 2 weeks. So if Harlan wanted to borrow one of my books, I would loan it to him. He'd get an email, but he should not accept the loan until he knows he's going to have time within 2 weeks to read it. When he accepts it, then I can't read that book on my devices anymore. It'll be loaned out to him. He'll have 2 weeks to read it. When his 2 weeks is up, whether he's done reading it or not, he can't read it anymore, and then I can read it again. But because I loaned it to him, I will not be allowed to loan it to anybody else again. I can only loan it to one friend one time. You can also return books to the Amazon Kindle books if you decide you aren't happy with it, same as you can take a paper book back to the local bookstore. So you can get a refund on Kindle books. Okay, enough about reading. Let's talk a little bit about writing. What can you write about? Consider writing your memoirs, stories that you want to share with your children, grandchildren, colleagues, friends. Or how about a how-to book? Everybody's great at something. If it's something you enjoy, someone else might enjoy doing it too. Or if you have a story rolling around your head that you'd love to share. Or maybe you read a story or heard a story that you thought was great, but boy, you didn't like how they ended it. You can write it yourself. So write anything you can think of. If you can write it, you can publish it. How do you get started? I'd highly recommend it. These classes, a series of classes that Paul and I took through Life. I've got their course catalog here. They're based out of RCTC. And here's a link for how to get more information on classes that they offer. The classes that we took was a series of 8 classes taught by Kevin Strauss. He taught subjects of getting started, creating a rough draft, creating memorable characters, adding crisis, conflict, or change to your story, creating memorable settings, effective writing, how to write your dialogue, and how to use some standard plot tips. Yes?
Are they real classes or are they online classes?
Those are real classes. Right, they meet once a week.
I like
Yes.
the word real.
Except they weren't offered again this winter. I was really disappointed. We took it this fall, and I contacted the teacher, asked if he's going to teach it again, and I haven't heard back. I hope they do. I think he's taught it. I don't think this fall was the first time that I'm wondering if he's just taking the winter off. If that's not offered again, another book that I'd recommend that offers very similar types of tips is a book called Plot and Structure, Techniques and Exercises for Crafting a Plot That Grips Readers from Start to Finish by James Scott Bell. It's also available as a Kindle book. Okay, so now you know what you want to write. So first step is to type it up into a document. You can use Microsoft Office Word. Most people are familiar with that, but you don't have to go out and buy Microsoft Office if you don't have it. I use a program called OpenOffice Text. It is free. It has a lot of the same capability as Microsoft Office Word. You can download it from here. I use it for all of my books. It's got all the same capability, but it's free. But since most of you are more familiar with Microsoft Office Word, I'm going to walk you through my demo today using Microsoft Office Word. Now this is a book I started writing, my walk through the book of Mark. Many years ago I started my daily devotions by just writing down my thoughts as I was going through each of the Gospels. And I ended up with 4 books that I wrote that I want to share with my daughter someday. And I've always wondered if I should consider publishing it. And it's not ready to be published yet, but I'm going to use it as a demo. It's about 150 pages right now, 130 I think. It's got 1 photo in it. So right now it's just a single file called mark.docx. It's in this folder all by itself. When you write your book, ask somebody to review it for you. You're going to get, ask someone who's got some good writing skills and willing to make suggestions. And it's kind of hard to take some criticism, but they will see things that you will not, and Rewrite, review, rewrite, review is a long process. It takes almost as long as it took to write the book in the first place, but it is definitely worth doing. You'll have a better book for doing that. Consider what you want to title your book. I need to work on the title of that book more. But when you title your book, before you come up with a title, think of words that people might type in to search for your book on Amazon or Google or wherever they're searching for your book. So think of just search words. Mine were Java, game, programming, computers, kids, introduction, beginning. And then think of a main title, something that's catchy, easy to remember. I like the titles I came up with for my first books, Do-It-Yourself Java Games. This little program went to market, and I'll try and use some of those search words. And then come up with a subtitle that's going to be more descriptive so people know what that book is referring to. Use as many of your search words as you can. The more of these search words you use, the better your chances are that people are going to be able to find your book. Here, and the keywords I wanted more than anything else were Java game programming. If someone goes to Amazon and types in search for Java game programming, my book shows up. It's been holding positions 1, 2, and 3 pretty steadily for the last many months. You do want your book to show up within the first couple of pages for people to be able to find it. And it might take a couple months for it to move up in ranks, but if you have good keywords on it, it'll get up higher in the list. My second book of this series is holding positions 5 through 10, somewhere in there. So it's reaching the first page, and I'm thrilled about that. Okay, I mentioned images affecting the size of your book. You're going to pay for the cost of your book is going to depend on the size of your images. And if you put in an image that's too big to display on the screen of the device, it's going to shrink down that image to fit on the device. So rather than using great big images and having it reduce all the file sizes, reduce the files before you put them in your book so that your file size is much smaller. And I've had the best luck scaling my images to no more than 600 pixels wide, 800 pixels tall, 96 dots per inch. The Kindle's user's guide recommends using 300 dots per inch, but I've had better luck with 96. This will make it fill the smallest, the screen of the smallest Kindle device. If you are working on a book that really needs sharp and intense photos, you might want to go larger than that, but mine are all screenshots. The size works very well, and it keeps the cost of the book down. Okay, formatting your book. Use the default font and font size. I know that you're tempted to choose your own font and control the size you want everything, but when I bring it up on my elliptical and I change the font so I can read it better, if you set any of the fonts or sizes yourself, it's going to look really goofy on my screen. So only use the default font and font size. Chapter titles you might want to have larger. Don't change the font sizes. Instead, use the heading levels. And in Office, to set the heading levels, I would put the cursor on the title where I have John and Jesus begin their ministry. I go up to Quick Styles and I choose heading 1 there. If heading 1 isn't showing up in the Quick Styles, you click the little down arrow that I've labeled as number 3, and that'll bring up a list of all the styles. Then you can find heading 1 and click it there. And that'll set the fonts and size for you. The second line after that, John the Baptist prepares the way, I set as a heading 2. So use heading levels to control your font sizes. Don't indent the first line of paragraphs. Don't type blank lines between paragraphs. Here, this is the default paragraph style with Microsoft Word 2010, where if I just type with whatever the default is, there's no indenting of the paragraphs, and it automatically puts a little space between each of my paragraphs. I do not type those blank lines between paragraphs. Keep formatting to a minimum. You can use italics, you can use bold, you can use colored text. You can put in underscored text, but they recommend don't do that. Underscored text in an ebook usually means it's a link to somewhere. So if you put something underscored, you're going to confuse the reader. They're going to think it's a link. So just avoid using underscored text. I tend to over format things that I work on. Here I've got part of my book where I've got regular text, I've got some in italics, I've got some in red, I've even got superscripts. But that's what I wanted in my book. Also be aware of what you put in the first 10% of the book. As I said, any book can be downloaded for, the first 10% for free. So, the first 10%, put enough in there that you entice your reader to want to read more, get them involved in the story in the first 10%, but don't put anything in there that you don't want to give away for free. I'm working on a book with my sister where we want to put a password for being able to download more data. I don't want them to get that password unless they buy the book, so that's going to be somewhere after the first 10% of the book. Okay, I've got my Word document done and ready to go. The next step is to export it, to save it as an HTML file. In Microsoft Office, what you're going to do is save it as a web page filtered. In OpenOffice, you would save it as an HTML document. And this is how you do it in Microsoft Office. You click File and Save As. You go down to Save Type, you save it as web page filtered. It's going to automatically put a .htm as the extension, as the name of the file. HTML and HTML are pretty much mean the same thing. And then you're going to click Save. Now my folder that had just the docx before has the new Mark HTML file in there that I just created, and it's going to have another folder called Mark Files, and that's got all the images that were in the document. And now that HTML file, if I were to double click it, it would open it as one giant web page. So I could scroll through it as one great big page. If I change the width of my browser window, it'll rewrap the text to fit within the window, just like it will in a Kindle book. So that's the first step in getting it ready for a Kindle. Kindle books are Mobi files. So the next step is to convert the HTML file to a Mobi file. There are a lot of different ways that you can do it. There's services available, different programs that you can use. But for the non-technical author, I would highly recommend using Kindle Previewer as being the easiest way to generate a book. Kindle Previewer was created by Amazon, so you can feel confident that it's going to generate something that will work appropriately in a Kindle reader. And you download the Kindle Previewer from this link here. This is what it looks like when you open up the Kindle Previewer program. It's ugly, it's got all kinds of things that you can do, but really, if you're going to use this to generate your Mobi file, the only thing you need to know about is this one link here. It says Open Book. So you click Open Book, and you're going to point it to your HTML file, and it's going to pop up this window. And after a little bit, it's going to say it's successfully compiled your book. It went ahead and made the Mobi file. If you want, you can just close the Previewer, because it created the file that you need. Or if you want, you can click OK if you want to actually preview the book. What the Previewer does is open this window, and it shows me what my book is going to look like in the Kindle Fire HDX 8.9. There's 3 tabs across the top. So you can see what it's going to look like in the 3 different Kindle Fire books. Or you can click the device menu item to choose one of the other Kindle devices to see what it's going to look like in the various Kindle devices. And you can scroll through it, and if something doesn't look the way you expected it to, you're just going to go back to your docx file, make your changes, save it again, save it out as HTML, and open it in here again, and it'll generate another Mobi file. So now my folder has a new folder added to it for converted files. If I go in there, there's one file in there called Mobi. It's my Mark file, and they named it based on the date and time that it was created. Now if I double click that Mobi file, if I have an e-reader on my computer, it'll open it up in that e-reader. This is the same e-reader I use for reading my books when I'm down on my elliptical. It's my e-reader for PC. And I can scroll through it and make sure everything looks okay here. But also, now that it's a Mobi file, that's its finished form of what it needs to be for any Kindle device. So I can hook up my Kindle device with its USB cable to my computer, and I can copy that Mobi file directly to my Kindle device or any other, my phone or anything else, to be able to read it on those devices. So now you can check it out and see, is it really looking good? And if it does, you're ready to publish it. To publish your book, you're going to go to kdpamazon.com. first time you go in there, it's going to, if you haven't published anything before, it's going to tell you need to set up an account. You're going to need to provide your name or your business name, your address and phone number, your tax ID number because they are going to report your earnings. And then you can, optionally, you can set up electronic funds transfer for them to send payments directly to your bank account. If you set that up, it'll send payments directly to your bank account every month. If you decide that you don't want to set up electronic funds transfer, they will send you a check. But they won't send you a check until it's at least $100. And as a new author, I can tell you it's going to take a little while for you to get your first $100 check from Amazon. So I would recommend you setting up electronic funds transfer. Okay, so now my account is all set up. I go to my bookshelf, and you can see I've got 3 books on my bookshelf right now. First step is add a new title. So I would click that. And the first thing Amazon does is, do you want to sign up for KDP Select? I will explain that in more detail later. You can just skip this for right now. You don't need to sign it up right now. You can enroll in KDP Select at any time. It's going to ask for book details. It's going to ask for the title of your book, the subtitle. Can you even read that from here? The number in the series, edition. Actually, I could have put in that this was first edition of this book. It's going to ask for the publisher. The publisher is you. It's going to ask for the description. Now, this is the description that's going to show up on the Amazon page. You write that description yourself. You want to let your readers know what your book is about. You want to convince them to buy your book. So and by the way, you can change this at any time. You're not locked in. If you wish you had worded it differently, you can always go back and change it later. Book contributors, that's where you enter yourself as the author. You need to at least name the author of the book. You can also list other contributors. I listed Paul and Leah as editors of my book. So now if you go to Amazon and you search for Paul Gotland, it's going to list my books in which he was the editor, so he's showing up on Amazon. So give credit to people that helped make your book possible. It asks for language, which in my case is English. It asks for ISBN number. That's optional. Kindle books do not require an ISBN number. Paper books do. So I would leave that blank if you're only publishing in Kindle. If you also have it in paper, you put your ISBN number of your paper book in here, and they'll link the 2 books together so that they'll say that your book is available both paper and Kindle format. Next, it'll ask, do you have the publishing rights for this book? And if you wrote it, yes, you give yourself publishing rights to publish it. Next, target the book to the readers. You're going to choose what category your book belongs in, so you know what your book is about. You're the only one who can really say what it belongs to. You can name the age range the book is targeted for. That's optional. Also optional is the grade range for your book. And then you can enter more keywords. You can put it up to 7 keywords in here. Do not use any of the words that are already in your title. Use whichever keywords you didn't manage to use, add them here so people can manage to find your book. This is a screenshot of selecting the categories. They provide a huge list to choose from, and here I chose Bible studies, Jesus, the Gospel, and Acts, and for one category. Another category I chose was religion and devotional. Then you get to choose your book release option. The first option is release now. By now it means when you hit the publish button, not when you select this option right here. The other option is set it up for pre-order. If you want to let people pre-order your book even though you're not ready to upload it yet, you can set that up. But since this book is ready to be published, I would just choose to publish now. Next is uploading the book cover. If someone created a cover for you, you just upload the JPEG file for it. But since I want to show you how you can do all this yourself, if you aren't great with creating image files, you can click the Launch Cover Creator here. And we'll click continue and work on creating the cover. Okay, they provide a lot of images in an image gallery that you can choose from. And they've got a lot of really nice photos. But chances are, if you want to make sure that your book doesn't look too similar to somebody else's book, you might want to upload your own photo that you took yourself, so it's not going to look like anyone else's. But for this demo, I'm just going to look for an image from their image gallery. And I wanted to look at their nature photos. I wanted to find a path through trees. I chose trees. I like this photo here. And confirm, yes, this is the image that I want to use. Next, it's going to show me, okay, this is what my image looks like. They have 6 different possible layouts where they already put in my title, my subtitle, and author, laid it out different ways. I like the first one best. Now I can go in, I can change the color, I can change the layout, I can change the fonts. But in this demo, I'm not going to. I'm just going to click preview. Now I can look at the different ways it's going to be displayed. It's going to be, I can click for looking at it in color. I can look at it in grayscale. I can look at what it's going to look like as a thumbnail. And if that all looks okay, click Save and Submit. Now it says that my cover uploaded successfully. So the next step is to upload the book, but before you upload it, you want to enable digital rights. Digital rights means, if you enable digital rights, it means you want Amazon to control so that if somebody buys your book, they're not going to be allowed to just give free copies away to everybody they know. So I would enable digital rights on it. And the next one is to upload the book itself. So you're going to browse, click Browse, browse to your Mobi file, and then upload it. And it'll say upload and conversion successful, and it'll do a spell check. I've never had it not upload successfully if I went through these other steps first. I've had spelling errors located, so then I would go back to my docx, fix it again, export it as HTML, bring it up in preview, or make it as a Mobi again, upload it again. You can go through this process over and over, and you won't lose your settings that you have in the book so far. And now once again, you get a chance to preview it. What does it look like now that it's actually uploaded and converted? You might want to just quickly look through your book and make sure everything still looks fine. And if it looks great, done, click Save and Continue. Okay, where do you want to publish your book? And unless you have any reason not to, I would say publish it worldwide. You're going to be an internationally known author here. Next, you choose which of those 2 royalty plans you want, the 70% or 35%. It's totally up to you. You can change this at any time. You can choose to start it here and change it later. Enter the price of the book. I just entered $4.99 for the price of this book. And it's telling me that at the 70%, the delivery cost is going to be 6 cents. It's a small book. There's only one little picture in it. And I'll get $3.45 for each one that royalty for each one that's sold. And then also, I have the default is, okay, calculate how much this should be in the different currencies in all these other countries. And I let it calculate all that for me. So I set my price. I can change the price anytime I want. Now, be aware that you'll be paid separately from each marketplace. I mentioned you get that $100 check. Okay, you won't get a check from India until that one is $100. You won't get, each one is set individually. Each payment will be in the currency of the respective marketplace. Your bank will convert the funds to US dollars when it gets deposited. You may change these prices anytime that you want. There's an option for Kindle Matchbook. That means if you sold a paper book and a Kindle book, someone bought your paper book on Amazon, that you want to offer them a deal to get your Kindle book at a lower price than what you listed for everybody else. If you aren't selling a paper book, just leave that option blank. And then here I mentioned that you can lend your book to one person. That's an option. If you want someone to be able to loan your book out just one time, click the option here to allow lending. And that's it. And finally, all you have to do is click Save and Publish. It says that it was all saved. I click my bookshelf, and there's the new book in my bookshelf. Now, looking at this list at number 42 says that this is a draft. That's because I did not click publish because I was not ready to publish this book. If you publish your book, it's going to say in process or in review. Right next to it, number 43 says enroll. That's the button you click whenever you decide you want to enroll your book in KDP Select. Now, I'll get into that in a little more detail in a little bit. And then 44 is where you can edit anytime you want, change your price, change your description. You can even upload a new version of the book anytime something you want to change. It'll be available to the readers the next day. Actually, when you change a book, even if people have bought your book, they can get you update to the new version, even if they've already got your previous version of the book. Okay, as soon as you hit publish, next day it's going to be on Amazon. That's when it gets fun. You will receive your royalty checks 2 months after the sale of the book. So end of November is when I received my September royalty checks. I said you can do this whole thing for free. One thing you might want to pay for is to copyright it. When you write a book, you are automatically the copyright owner of that book. There's really nothing you have to do. But you might still want to put a copyright statement at the front of your book so readers know that you are the copyright owner and they know what you want to list as what they can do and can't do as far as copying your book. You can also file a copyright claim on your book with the government, and that costs $35. I did talk to a lawyer. They said it's not required to do this, but if there's ever a copyright infringement lawsuit, they said it's just a lot easier if you did file this. So this is one thing you might want to pay the $35 for. They will need a copy of your book. All you do is you go to your Word document, export it as a PDF, and you upload the PDF to the government, to the copyright website. Okay, what about all those free books? I said I've been reading nothing but free books from the very beginning. Those free books are available are set up through the KDP Select program. If you sign up for KDP Select, you're agreeing to not sell the electronic version of your book anywhere other than on Amazon. So you're not going to sell it as Nook, you're not going to sell it on your website, you're not going to go to Smashwords. The only place you're going to sell it is on Amazon. And you're only doing a 3-month commitment. At the end of 3 months, you can discontinue it and go back to selling it wherever you want to. If you sign up for KDP Select, you'll automatically be enrolled in Kindle Prime and Kindle Unlimited programs. So Amazon will start giving your book away for free loaning to people that belong to those programs. And then the other reason to use KDP Select is some of the promotions that they make available to you as a publisher. You may use one free promotion or one countdown promotion during your 3-month period. And then you renew the KDP Select program every 3 months, up to you. Okay, the free promotion, that's what gets your book on that list of 100 free books. It may take a few days for it to get up to the top 100, but it will get there. I'm surprised that this first computer book of mine makes it up fairly high on the list, and it doesn't have a very big market. You may list it for a total of 5 days, but you can spread those 5 days out across your 3-month time period. A lot of people recommend just doing it just 1 or 2 days for free at a time. And that's why that list is changing daily when you go out to look for free books. There's always different books out there. It's usually new authors. I've read a lot of good books that way. When you're giving away these free books, you get no royalties for these books that you give away. Your goal is to get readers, get your name known, get people to review your book, recommend your book to other people. It's not going to be free the next day, for the next person who wants to read it. You'll give away hundreds of copies in just 1 to 2 days. They go fast. And when the reader downloads these books, they own it. They get to keep it. Unlike the Kindle Unlimited and Prime, they don't get to keep those. Those are on loan only. So this is a good program if you're a new author, just to get your book out there and read by people. It's especially good if you're going to write a series of books. Give the first one away for free, and hopefully they'll want to read the next book. Countdown promotion, I just brought up a page of what it looks like. Here is a book that's on Countdown promotion. The list price is $2.99. It's currently 99 cents. And then there's a note that says Kindle Countdown deal. Price goes up to $2.99 in 6 hours and 3 minutes. And that little timer is going. So it's to encourage people to act now. It's not going to stay that price forever. So that's something else that you can do if you're a part of KDP Select. It's usually done as a series of reduced pricing. My books are $9.99, so I would do like 99 cents for one day and then $2.99 for another day or two to fill up the full week. You can only do one countdown sale, whether you use the full week or not. You can only do it once in the 3-month period. In this program, you will earn your royalty that you're signed up for, either 35% or 70%, but based on the sale, on the price that you're selling it at. And you may do either a free promotion or a countdown promotion during those 3 months, but you can't do both. Okay, Kindle or Amazon's going to be giving away your book for people to read, borrow for free for Kindle Prime and Unlimited. But they do pay you something for that, even though the readers are borrowing them for free. Basically what they do is they put aside a pot of money every month for these two programs. And however many books are borrowed between the two programs, they're going to divide that pot of money equally between all the books. It doesn't matter whether it was a $20 book or a $2 book, everybody gets the same split. And for your book, for you to be able to get money from this program, a Kindle Prime member, if they just simply download your book, you're going to get part of that money. For a Kindle Unlimited member, they have to download the book and read 10% of it. If they've read at least 10%, you'll get part of that money too. So in the months that they've been doing this program, it's amounted to about $1.50 per book that's gone in these programs. So even though people are borrowing it for free, you will get paid a little something for the fact that Amazon is giving your book out. They also offer additional bonuses for the books that get the most downloads per month on these programs. I don't expect my computer books to ever reach the most downloads, but those are worth thousands of dollars. If you get a really good book, this might add up to a good program for you. But I do want to point out that the reader does not own or keep the book. When they quit the program or rent other books, these books go away. If they like your book, they're going to have to buy it if they want to keep it, and they'll pay a regular price to buy it. Other fun things to look at once you have your book out on Amazon is bestsellers rank. It'll tell you how your book is doing compared to other books in the same category. This shows that in all of the Kindle books and all the paid Kindle books, only 54,026 sold better than mine that day. So I made the first 54,000 in all of Kindle. I'm number 6 in the Kindle store for for program and game books. And in all of books, not just Kindle, I'm a number 32 for Java beginner guides. So, and this changes regularly, but at least you can see, how is your book doing compared to other books in its category? Could or should it be doing better? You can also view sales reports. I have this up on my screen all the time. It's about a 4-hour delay. I can see if somebody just bought another copy of my book. It's great. I just have to refresh the screen, see what's going on. The red line indicates somebody paid full price for my book. The blue line says somebody just borrowed it through Kindle Select, through the Kindle Unlimited or Kindle Prime. Okay. Now, how do you get people to find your book? These are just a few marketing tips. The biggest thing I can recommend is a good title and using good keywords so people can find your book, whether they're searching on Amazon or Google. Get reviews, encourage people to leave a review. Share it on Facebook. If you let your friends know you just published a book, hopefully they'll let their friends know that you just published a book. Create a YouTube video, do the giveaways, write more books. My first book, this little program went to market. Its sales went up as soon as I published my next book, Do-It-Yourself Java Game Programming, even though they really aren't related to each other. Just the fact that you've got another title out there is going to help sales of your book. Series of books, as I said, have another book for them to read next to follow however your first book ended. Create a website, create a blog for people to read, get more information about your book. Contact newspapers, the Rochester, your hometown, your college newspaper. They're happy to print about successes of their own, how you're doing. You're not placing an ad, you're reporting news, and they're usually happy to get that kind of information. Write articles, respond to questions that people post on the internet, whether it's related to your book or not. Put in a response, and then in your signature, Annette Gotland, author of, name your book. So we'll get information out about your book. And then contact any other interested organizations that might be interested in the type of book that you're writing. Okay, not everybody likes to read an ebook. I did publish in paper too, and it would take another whole session to talk about how to publish a paper book, but I'm just going to point out a couple of things about publishing in paper. Traditionally, you're going to print many copies at once, and then you're going to ship books to the retailers. And I've heard stories of people having boxes and boxes of books filling up their garage. I did not go that route. I went print on demand. The company I went through was called Lightning Source. And with print on demand, you can print just a few copies or even just one copy at a time, and then the retailer orders from the printer. So if you go to Barnes & Noble and say you want a copy of Annette's book, they'll look it up, they'll order it from Lightning Source, and they'll have it to you in the next day, and Lightning Source just sends me a check. Same with Amazon. You order it from Amazon, they'll have it the next day and send it to you, and then Lightning Source will send me a check. Printing on paper is a much bigger financial investment. You can do the ebooks for free, but with a paper book, you're going to have to pay for books, you're going to have to pay printing fees, you're going to have to pay shipping, and you have to buy an ISBN number. And there are other fees too. Plus, you need to offer a wholesale discount to the retailers, and standard discount is 55%. That's how Amazon manages to give 30% off their books, because they're already getting 55% off. They say that bookstores won't shelf your book if they have to pay more than that, because they need to cover their expenses too. So when you price your book for print, you have to figure in what it's going to cost to print and still have some profit after your 45%. Anyway, so I was going to say it's very easy to self-publish. I hope that you'll give it a try. The only thing that's going to cost you is your time. Oh, and a word for the help publishers out there: if you've read a good book, leave a review. The publisher will appreciate it. Any questions I can answer for you? Yes?
What about like short stories? Not like a full-length book, but something shorter. Is that appropriate for this?
Yes. In fact, I've read short stories. They're 30-page books, that are available on Kindle, published exactly the same way. It's the exact same process. You'll want to keep the price down. Someone's going to complain that your book is awfully short, but if you just say in the description, this is a short story, and you're upfront about it, I think it's great. Yes?
My question is, I've got I think it's a 2010 Word, and I think it's kind of a lighter edition, and we don't always see the capability of exporting as a PDF or as an HTML from a Word doc. I'm not sure if I can always do that.
Okay. When you're at that point, contact me and I'll see if I can walk you through it, because I thought they can all export as HTML for sure. PDF, I've got a way to create PDFs if your Word program can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Many authors, the books become successful after they've gone, they've passed away, and I'm just wondering, is this for your life, or how does it work? Is there succession to this? Say the book is out there, it's in print, and maybe it's not something like computer related, but topical that would be maybe interesting 100 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it set up for that? I mean, You know, how does that work?
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. You know, you are the copyright owner. It goes to your,
I guess I'm thinking about like royalties and just being electronic.
right, it's set up to go to whatever your business is. So if your children take over your business after you're gone, it'll still go to them. You know, whatever they decide to do with the business, is the way I understand that. I know that, I don't know how long the copyright is effective. I think it's 50 years or something. I really don't know. But you'll find there are some free books on Amazon that are beyond their copyright. So they're out of the hands of the original copyright owner. But you'd have to talk to a copyright lawyer about that.
Okay, thanks.
I keep getting these offers nowadays that says that if you buy my paper book, I'll give you a free e-copy of the same book. And I can't understand why I would want to do that.
Why, you want the e-copy?
Yeah, when I've already got the paper book.
I like the paper book for some kinds of things. E-copy is a lot easier to search for some topic, some words, than the paper book. I can have it with me. I can put it on my phone. If I would need to reference it somewhere along the way, I don't have to drag the book along with me. Yeah.
If I had an ebook on a smartphone and I tilted mine for, let's see, landscape, how readable is that? Even if you can change the font size. If you get too large a font, you're going to have a pretty short sentence.
Oh, you can. It's very easy to change the font. You know, if you're used to using in that mode, I would change the default font on that device to be smaller, and then it'll show up in whatever font you last used. So next time when you rotate it the other way, if you want to change the font back, go ahead. Yeah, you just change the font to whatever works on that device. I should also point out that when you're using multiple devices, if I'm reading my book on my laptop while exercising, I'm in the middle of a really good story, and it's on my laptop. Now, the next day I'm at the dentist's office, and I find out I have to kill a half hour. I can pull out my smartphone and read the same book, and it'll pick up right where I left off on that laptop. So it'll keep them all in sync, yes. Wherever all your devices will pick up wherever you left off. You can be in the middle of 5 different books, it'll know where you are in each book. Yeah. Yes.
Annette, do you see Amazon as, with regard to books, as evil empire, neutral empire, or beneficent empire?
They are almost an evil empire, but they are, without doubt, the best way to get started. So they're giving me a way to market my book that there's no way I could get that kind of a readership through any other means than what I'm getting through them. So they're making it possible. A lot of people complain about the fact, that they're trying to control what you charge for the price of your book. Yeah, they are very much in control of what I can and can't do. But for my purposes, it's been reasonable for me.
Thank you, Annette, as someone who has been resistant to all things computer. I think even I might be able to do this.
Right.
Thank you very much.